So one of important topic in photochemistry. So that is quantum efficiency, or it is known as the quantum yield. So this is an important topic in the photochemistry. So this quantum efficiency or quantum yield, it is denoted with the phi symbol. What is quantum efficiency or quantum yield? Now let's see. So when the law of photochemical equivalence applies to the primary photochemical process, that means when you apply the Stark-Einstein law, what is photochemical equivalence law? The law of photochemical equivalence, so it is nothing but Stark-Einstein photochemical equivalence. So when you apply that law to the primary photochemical process, so in that situation, what happens? What is the law of photochemical equivalence? That means Stark-Einstein law. So each one molecule can absorb the one radiation. That means one quantum of energy, and it can undergoes a dissociations. Also after that, it can produce the products. So this is explained by the law of photochemical equivalence, or it is Stark-Einstein law. But whereas in the most cases, a molecule at the activated photochemically initiate a series of thermal reactions called the secondary reactions, or it is known as secondary process. Yes, we know that according to Stark-Einstein law, what is that? That means that every one molecule, that means A, it is the one molecule, can absorb the one quantum, so that the molecule which is absorbed by the quantum of energy, one quantum of energy, that can undergo chemical changes, then after it will give the products. So this is the actual process. But whereas in the most cases, what happening, the molecule, see this one, after observing this, see this one, like A, it is the molecule. After observing the quantum of energy, one quantum of energy, it can activate it, that is A star. It will not give the products directly. So in this situation, what happened? The activated photochemically, it initiate a series of thermal reactions called the secondary reactions. So that means it activates the another molecule by giving the energy. Then after it will produce the products. So this process will happening after a molecule observing the one quantum of energy. So as a result, what happens? Such reactions, many reactant molecules may undergo chemical changes by observing the one quantum only, isn't it? If it is a process like this, then what happens? More than one molecule will undergo reaction by observing only one photon energy. Is it clear? By observing the one photon energy, more than two molecules will undergo reaction. So this will happening when a molecule observing the one quantum of energy or one photon of energy. Actually, according to the law of photochemical, that means what is Stark-Einstein law? One molecule will absorb the one quantum, then only it will undergo changes. After that, it will produce the products. So this is the actual process. But whereas in the most cases, what happened? This will not take. After observing the one photon of energy by the molecule, it will activate the another molecule. That means A star will activate the another molecule. For example, B. The A star will activate the B, and B activate B star. So after that, it will give the products. So in this case, how many molecules will undergo reaction? Two molecules, A and B. A and B, two reactants are involving in this photochemical reaction. But according to Einstein law, what is that? Only one molecule absorb the one photon energy, then only it will give the products. So this is the actual process. But where I have here, what happened? Two reactants are undergo reaction in the presence of one photon energy by absorbing the one photon of energy. So this will happen in the most of the cases. So that is why, how can you define the quantum efficiency? So based on that, you can define the quantum efficiency or quantum yield. How can you define? Here it is. The number of molecules, see this one, the number of molecules which undergo chemical transmissions for quantum absorbed, the quantum of absorbed energy. It is known as quantum efficiency, or it is known as quantum yield. Is it clear? What is the definition for the quantum efficiency or quantum yield? The number of molecules which undergo chemical transmissions per quantum of absorbed energy. It is called quantum efficiency. That means by absorbing the only one quantum, of energy, number of molecules, the number of molecules will undergo chemical changes. So that will happening in the most of the cases. So we can define the quantum efficiency like this: the number of molecules which undergo chemical transmission per quantum energy. Important. So this one, per quantum of absorbed energy. It is called as quantum efficiency, or it is known as quantum yield. Then mathematically you can represent like this: pi is equal to the ratio between the number of molecules reacting in a given time and number of quantum absorbed in the same time. Or it may be defined as number of molecules reacting in a given time with the number of Einstein observed in the same time. Yes, we know this. According to, as per the Stark-Einstein law, what is the quantum yield? Quantum yield must be equal to 1. When it will be happening? When the, for example, if you see this one, A, that will absorb the one quantum energy, HNU, and that the A converts as a product. So directly it will give the products without giving energy to the other reactants. If it is happening like this, so this reaction have the yield pi is equal to 1. So this type of reactions will give the yield is equal to 1. So this reaction will obey the Stark-Einstein law. So as per the Stark-Einstein law, what is the quantum yield? Quantum yield must be is equal to 1. But many reactions, so it may having the greater than 1 or less than 1. If it is equal to 1, so that it is known as normal quantum yield. But most of the cases, quantum efficiency or quantum yield either greater than 1 or less than 1. So that type of yield is known as abnormal quantum yield. Normal quantum yield. So let's see why happening this abnormal quantum yield in the most of the reactions. So first one, that is reason for the unique quantum yield. That means the reaction which is obeyed by the Stark-Einstein law, that reaction, that photochemical reaction will photochemical reactions quantum efficiency must be equal to 1. So what is that? According to Einstein law, the photochemical equivalence law, that means in primary cases, so each molecule absorbs the one quantum. Each molecule when the molecule, each molecule observes one quantum, so in that chemical photochemical reactions having the yield must be 1. So that is known as yield is unity. But whereas in the most of the cases, the quantum efficiency or quantum yield either less than 1 or greater than 1. So let's see the reasons. Reason for the high quantum yield. So what are the reasons for the high quantum yield, that is pi greater than 1? Let's see. Yes, the product of primary process, see this one. The product of primary process may collide with the second molecule. May collide with the second molecule and transfer the energy. And transfer energy second to third, and so on. Thus, the chain reaction starts and number of reactant molecules will be lengthy. That means will be high. That means increases. So number of involving molecules will be increases. What is that? For example, if you see this one, this is a one molecule activated by the one proton. That means A star. Here, what happened? The A star means activated molecule. Again, it can activated the other molecules like B or C. So like this. That means B star and B star activated the other molecule like C. That means C star. So in this case, what happened? The number of reactants involving in the reaction will be increases. So this is known as the secondary process or is chain reactions. So chain reactions are stores. So that is the one reason. What is the reason? The primary process. That means see this one. This is the primary process, and this is the secondary process. That means the activated molecule in the primary process. The activated molecule will initiate to activate the other molecules. So that is the one reason for the high quantum yield. The second reason, it is that due to formation of intermediate products, which is a catalyst. Yes. What is the reason? Due to formation of a intermediate products. And second one, third one, exothermic reactions may activate the more molecules. In the secondary process, what happened? Exothermic process. That means exothermic process means, so these are the process in which the heat will be released. So that is known as the exothermic reactions. So due to occurring this type of exothermic reactions, so that exothermic reactions is also responsible for the activation of more molecules. This is also one reason for the high quantum yield. The best example for this high quantum yield, so that is a reaction between the hydrogen and halogen. So what are the reason for the high quantum yield? The primary process, the primary process may collide with the second molecule and transfer the energy to activate and so on. And second to third to fourth, like this. So in that case, what happened? The chain reaction starts and number of reactant molecule will be increases. And next reason, that is due to formation of a intermediate. That is also one reason. And next reason, that is due to formation of a exothermic reactions. Due to presence of that exothermic reaction, that is also responsible for the activation of more molecules. So let's see one example. That is photochemical combination of the hydrogen and fluorine. Here, what is the quantum efficiency or quantum yield? See this one. Here is in this reaction, the quantum yield or quantum efficiency, that is equal to 10 to the power of 4 to 10 to the power of 6. See here how much it is high. So the general reaction is hydrogen plus Cl2, it gives rise to HCl. So this is a general reaction. So in every photochemical reaction, so two processes are there: primary process and secondary process. Primary process means activation, that means absorption of energy. That is a primary process. So in the primary process, what happens? The chlorine molecules absorb the one quantum, see, one quantum of light and dissociate to give the chlorine free radicals. Yes, it is. The chlorine will absorb the only one quantum of energy, one quantum of light. Then chlorine dissociate into its free radicals. So this step is also known as the chain initiation step. See here, after primary process, then what happens? The chlorine free radical again will reaction with the hydrogen and it will produce the hydrogen free radicals. That means chlorine free radical activate the hydrogen as a hydrogen free radical. Here what happened? This hydrogen free radical again now reaction with the chlorine and it will give the chlorine free radical. Again that chlorine free radical reaction with the hydrogen and it will give the hydrogen free radical. Again hydrogen free radical reaction with the chlorine and gives the chlorine free radical. So like these type of reactions will take place in the secondary process. So all these reactions are known as the chain propagation steps. This is known as the chain propagation steps. Here what happened? The above reaction continues till the total reaction mixture is consumed. Total mixture is consumed. So finally what happened? All the free radicals, see this one, the chlorine free radical and chlorine free radical, and then chlorine free radical combines with each other and it gives the chlorine molecule. So this step is known as chain termination step. So observe that one in the secondary process, two type of steps are there. What are they? Chain propagation step and termination steps also present in the secondary process. So finally what happened? The reaction is terminated by the combination of chlorine free radical to form the chlorine molecule. So because of this number of this number of reactions takes place in the secondary process. So due to this one, and also these reactions are also the exothermic reactions. So due to this one, these photochemical combinations will have the more quantum efficiency or quantum yield. And next one, that is the reason for the low quantum yield. So some reactions, some photochemical reactions having the low quantum yield is pi less than 1. What are the reasons? The main reason is deactivation of activated molecules. See this, the deactivation of activated molecules takes place in the primary process before it form the products. So that is the main reason for having the low quantum yield. What is the reason? The deactivation of activated molecule. That means activated molecule before going to form a product, it will lose the energy. It will lose the energy in the form of two types. What are they? Light, in the form of light or in the form of heat. So due to this deactivation of activation energy, this is also reason for the low quantum yield. And next reason is the product of primary process may react back to form of reactants. What is the reason? It will not give the products. Instead of formation of products, it will go back and form a reactants. So that is also one reason for the low quantum yield. So the best example for this low quantum yield is the decomposition of hydrogen iodide and hydrogen bromide polymerization of the acid. So take one example. So that is photochemical combinations of hydrogen and bromine. So the quantum efficiency or quantum yield for this reaction, it is 0.01. How much it is low? See this one. How it is low? Pi is equals 0.01. How much it is low? Yes. The general reaction it is hydrogen plus bromine gives rise to 2 HBr. What is the primary process? So absorption of light and it can dissociate into its free radicals. So this is the primary process. So there is bromine. After observing the one quantum of energy, always remember only one quantum of energy consumed in these reactions, photochemical reactions. So that is bromine under the one quantum of energy. It will dissociate it into free radicals, bromine free radicals. This is known as chain initiation state. And the secondary process. So in the secondary process, what happening? Let's see. Here, this free radical, bromine free radical, now reaction with the hydrogen, it will give the HBr and hydrogen free radical. To form a hydrogen free radical or to conduct this reaction in between the bromine free radical and hydrogen free radical, it requires some amount of energy, additional energy. It requires some additional reaction, additional energy. Then only it will give the products like HBr and H free radical, hydrogen free radical. So due to requirement of some amount of energy, so this process is known as endothermic reaction. See, here what happened? To conduct the secondary process, it needs some amount of energy, external energy. Then only the secondary process still going on. Otherwise what happened? If you want to give the external energy, otherwise what happened? The bromine periodical again combines with the bromine periodical and it will give the reactants. That means back reaction will take place. If you don't give this some external energy, then what happened? The secondary process will not going on. Instead of that, the bromine periodical again will involve in the reaction and it will give the initial reactants. So that means the bromine. To conduct the secondary process, you have to give the some external energy, then only it undergo reaction. That means bromine free radical combines with the hydrogen, it gives the hydrogen free radical, that is endothermic reaction. So this hydrogen free radical now reaction with the bromine and it will give the bromine free radical. Again that hydrogen free radical reaction with the HBr, that is product, and it will give the bromine free radical. Here what happens? The two bromine free radical will combine with each other and it will give the bromine as a products. So this is known as a secondary process. So here this is the termination step. So in this process what happened? To conduct the secondary process, you have to give the some amount of external energy, then only secondary process will going on, or means the chain propagation step will be initiated by the external energy only. So due to this, the quantum efficiency of this type of reactions will have a low quantum efficiency value. That means pi is equal to 0.01. So this is about the quantum efficiency or quantum yield with its examples, table examples.